Hello, my dear students. I am once again here to be with you. I told you that I may come to you again, so this is the second time I have come to you. Today, actually, I have a new grammatical item to discuss with you. Earlier, I told my class about voice change. I just told about voice change to you. Now I am here, I will do another thing. So, before starting this thing, I would like to draw your attention to the following sentence. Just take a look. You can see this sentence that I shall help you dash you come. My dear students, you see this sentence very attentively. I shall help you dash you come. So my dear students, there is a gap. Here just I have made a gap, and in this gap there we need a word, and with the help of the word we can just complete this sentence totally. So you are thinking, what should I just give here to complete the sentence? Yes, you are thinking that what it would be. Okay, you are guessing that you're just here, you would like to write down this word. You see, then if you read it again, it is totally meaningful and it is complete. I shall help you if you come. So my dear students, you have got the idea. Actually, what about today I am going to discuss with you, what about my class is going to be done with you. Okay, so my dear students, it is very common item and you have guessed it, you have got it, that I am going to take your class today on connectors. This is a very important and common grammatical item in our class 9 and 10. So my dear students, you see, today we are going to discuss about connectors. So actually, to go to connectors, we need to know some things about connectors. Actually, if we look for the definition of connectors, then we'll have to first say that what is connectors. So I would like to say that connector is a word. Just connector is a word or phrase. Actually, which connects a clause with another clause or a sentence with another sentence. So this is the role of connectors. My dear students, I have just mentioned here, I have written here something. If you want to see this thing, none can deny the importance of tree plantation. Just take a look here. None can deny the importance of tree plantation. You see? Okay. Dash our lives on earth directly or indirectly depend on it. So just you have noticed this sentence. Okay. In my second sentence, if you take a look, Bangladesh is beset with many problems, no doubt. Dash, she has a bright prospect. My dear students, you see, it is very clear. And if you just ponder over the sentence, if you just think it minutely, I think that of course the solution is very much easy to you, and you have the ability to fill the gaps with your necessary connectors. So my dear students, just you take a look at here. If I just put this word, what did I write? It's because now if you read again, none can deny the importance of tree plantation because our lives on earth directly or indirectly depend on it. So my dear students, you have understood that this sentence is appropriate to form its meaning perfectly with the help of the very connector because. So it is very much clear to you. You can understand it. Okay, now it is fulfilled with the help of the connector because. So it is important. This connector is necessary here to put on, and I have kept it. Okay, my dear students. In my second sentence, if we come again, then you see that Bangladesh is beset with many problems, no doubt. Dash, she has a bright prospect. If you think, just if you cogitate over the sentence, then you will try to fill this sentence, to fill the gap. What sort of connector would come here, would arise here? So if I just take a look, if I write down here, however, just take a look. Bangladesh is beset with many problems, no doubt. However, she has a bright prospect. Okay, my dear students, here I have written because, and in my second sentence I have written however. So I have used two connectors here. One is because and another is however. So, my dear students, I have just applied two connectors into sentences. We have a talk on connectors, about the difference between connectors and conjunctions. So I have just here indicated that difference between connectors and conjunctions. You need to know this thing. Okay, the difference between connectors and conjunctions is not great thing, is not very necessary. Necessity is here that how much we are able to complete our sentence with the proper connectors. This is main function, to practice or to learn connectors. So the difference between connectors and conjunctions actually are not vital here. We just have the idea, we should have the idea about proper connectors and its application. So let me give you the differences. Okay, I am giving you the differences. Actually, just you see, in my first sentence, none can deny the importance of tree plantation because our lives on earth directly or indirectly depend on it. If I ask you how many sentences are here, then you will answer, sir, here is only one sentence. Only one sentence. Big sentence. And if I ask you again, okay, how many clauses do you see here? How many clauses? That is, how many parts of individual speech? Then you will see that there are two part of speech, actually two part. It's a big sentence, but the big sentence has two parts of sentence. Okay, tell it. None can deny the importance of tree plantation. It is one part. It is partial sentence, and again, if we see our lives on earth directly or indirectly depend on it, it is another part. So there are two parts in one sentence. There are two clauses. My dear students, clauses. What is clauses? What is clause? Clause is a part of a big sentence which have a subject and its finite verb. So if we go, we will see that this part. In this part, there is an existence of finite verb. Again, in the same way, in this part there is also a finite verb. So just you see about the verbs here. Depend, this is a verb, and in this sentence, can deny. Just can deny. It is also another finite verb. So, what is this? What is this? Is it a connector or it is a conjunction? Then we will say that no sir, it is a conjunction. Why? Because here the connector is joining or connecting two clauses in a big sentence. So this because is not connected, rather it's a conjunction. Okay. So because is mainly connected with the structural aspect of the sentence. Okay. If we come here, what do we see? If we come, just you see, this sentence is complete. This sentence is complete. And second sentence is started from here with the help of the connector, however. So this is separate from that one. This sentence is separate from that one, or this sentence is separate from that one. Okay. But there is a connector. Why? Because the connector is maintaining the gradual sequences of the sentences between the two sentences. It is just maintaining the sequences, how these sentences are connected with each other. So here, however, is a connector rather than a conjunction. My dear students, you have understood a little bit that what might be the difference between a connector and a conjunction. Okay. So my dear students, from the above discussion, we have the major ideas about connectors, that is connectors and conjunctions. So just we have the knowledge, we should have the least knowledge about two important things to practice these grammatical items very smoothly by the students. So what kind of knowledge should we have? Okay, to accomplish the exercise we must have knowledge about the structure of sentence. You see, what things are necessary for us to practice this item? Knowledge about the structure of sentences. That is, what kind of sentence it is. Is it complex? Is it compound? These are very important. So you should identify, you should analyze actually what kind of sentence it is from the perspective of structural aspect. Just you should just follow this thing. You should just maintain this thing. How this sentence is organized structurally. So from structural point of view, from the point of view of structure, we can see that of course conjunction is very much related with the structure of the sentence, that whether the sentence is complex or compound, in this way. Okay. And if we go for the second thing, knowledge about the meaning of sentences. This is very important. If we do not know the meaning, if we do not realize what is the main thing, actually what does the sentence represent, what is the suggestive meaning here, then we will not be able to place the connectors properly. So we should have the knowledge about the meaning of sentences also. So we see that if we want to say that what is the role of a conjunction, then we will specifically say that conjunction is just ensuring the connection between two clauses. And on the other hand, if we go for the connectors simply, then we will say that connectors are actually contributing to maintain the gradual sequences of the sentences and its meaning. So these are the important things. Dear students, for our easy discussion on connectors, actually I would like to start in this way. Actually it's a lengthy grammatical item. You see that here is huge talks on connectors. That's why for easy going on of our class, I just today going to discuss about firstly connectors. Then in my next class I may go for the conjunction and its application. So my dear students, just firstly we are going to discuss about connectors and its utilization. My students, you see that connectors, what is connectors? I have given you the idea and how the connectors are contributing to the sentences to represent different meaning. I have just given you the idea. So about types of connectors, just if I draw your attention to here, that you will see that according some studies, I have got that. Connectors are mainly three types. Actually, there are three types of connectors, as I have got in many books. And you see that adverbial connectors and phrasal connectors and infinitive phrasal connectors. So there are three types of connectors. My dear students, so if I just want to say that first, adverbial connectors. What are the adverbial connectors? So just in my example, I have mentioned some examples of adverbial connectors here. However, then actually, finally, therefore, etc. These are the example of adverbial connectors, my dear students. And secondly, if I just want to talk to you about this thing, phrasal connectors. Now, phrasal connectors, what are phrasal connectors? Then you see, in the meantime, for example, in fact, as a result, etc. These are the examples of phrasal connectors. Okay. So in my third type, you see infinitive phrasal connectors. What are they? Infinitive phrasal connectors: to begin with, to connect, conclude, to start with, to sum up, etc. Just these are the connectors. These are the what sort of connectors? These are infinitive phrasal connectors. My dear students, now as I told you, connectors are just here to maintain the relation, the connection with one sentence and another sentence. Actually, my dear students, connectors just it is maintaining the connection. Okay. It focuses mainly on meaning rather than its structure. So you see that connectors are used to represent similarity. First, if connectors, what are connectors doing here? So if we go, we'll see that connectors are maintaining and representing similarity. Similarity, they just similar things. They're the resemblance. Okay. So what are these examples? What are these examples? Just under similarity. You see that likewise, similarly, correspondingly, etc. Just these are the example of connectors. Which connectors are here to represent similarity? So you have got the examples of similarity expressing connectors. Again, I have given an example. You see, where is the use of these connectors and how these connectors are used and managed here. Take a look. I was thinking of going to school with him. Here is a sentence. It is a different sentence. It's a separate sentence. And with the help of the connector very connector correspondingly. So we are joining another sentences here. Correspondingly, he was waiting outside for me. My dear students, you just see this thing. Same things are going on here. The two persons are going to do the same action. So there is a similarity. Two persons. Here first is that I. Here a person I, and secondly you see here he. So they have the common goal. They have the common goal or common destination. Actually, what did I say here? I was thinking of going to school with him. My intention is to go to school. My intention was going to school here, and correspondingly he was another person. He was, what he was doing, he was waiting outside for me. Okay, I and he together will go to school. So similar thing is happening here. So I have just put here the connector similar, correspondingly. I have written here the connector correspondingly. So there is a corresponding, there is a correspondence. Just we are going to do same action. Okay. Secondly, if you just look that contrast. Contrast. What is contrast? Opposite things. Opposition. On the opposition, what is happening? Just it is used to present some contrasting situation. So my dear student, you see that here, what are the contrast expressive connectors? Example, you see on the other hand, in contrast, conversely, however, etc. These are the examples of contrast expressing connectors. My dear students, you see that Jahid helped, in my example, take a look. Jahid helped Alamin. Jahid helped Alamin. It's a sentence. It's a separate sentence, individual sentence. Okay. So next you see that on the other hand, Alamin did not even talk to him. So what did we get here? What did we get here? We see that Jahid the person, Jahid is a person. Actually, Jahid, what did Jahid? Jahid helped. Whom did Jahid help? Jahid helped Alamin. This is a positive conduct. This is a positive, and this is the very much what can I say? This is something very much favorable thing. That Jahid helped Alamin, it is favorable and positive. Okay. On the other hand, you can see that the application of connector here is on the other hand. So what did we see here? Jahid helped Alamin. On the other hand, conversely, there is a contrast. Alamin did not even talk to him. So what did Alamin? Jahid helped. What did Jahid? Jahid helped. What did Alamin? Alamin did not. Alamin did not. That is, there is a negative activity, negative performance. What is he doing? Okay, he is helping or he helped. It is a positive thing. But what is actually what we are getting here? Very much opposite thing. Even Alamin did not talk to him. So there is a great contrast. So to express contrast, we actually use this type of connectors. On the other hand, in contrast, conversely, however, these sort of connectors are used to maintain this kind of sentence application. So my dear students, you have got it very clearly. Okay. Third, just in third that you see that time. In number 3, you see the connector application about time. So here is the time related sequences are represented. So you see that what are just connected with maintaining the time sequences sentences. You see that at first, afterwards, later, in the meantime, then, etc. These connectors are used only to present the timing or time related activities. That what is going on, when going on. The time identifying, time representing connectors. Okay. So if you see that in my sentence I have given the example that the fair was going on nicely. It is a sentence. The fair was going on nicely in the meantime. So my dear students, if you see that really we have got the use of the connector in the meantime. So in the meantime, of course, it is suggesting the okay, you have got that here. Just I have mentioned the sentence. The fair was going on nicely. In the meantime, the chief guest was present there. So two things are ensured here, two things. One about the fare, just what is the progressive development of the fare, what was and how the fare was at that time. The fare was ongoing, that is, the fare was just going on, it was continuous. So there is an indication of time, so it was going on. Okay, what is the another incident? Another incident is that in the meantime, it is the connector, the chief guest was present there. So the fair was going on, it was continuing, and at that time, on that time, not at the time, on that time, in the meantime, the chief guest was present. So two things, the presence of the chief guest and the ongoing of the fair just are connected with the time indicating connectors. That is, the very connector is expressing the sequences of the two things in a particular time. What was taking place in that time? So these are the things. Okay, my listeners, you have got my point here in this sentence. I think so. Yes. So just now I will discuss about number 4 connector. Here I have mentioned result. So result, you know, why we will use result connectors, result expressing connectors. When something is happened earlier and due to the happening, something is taking place next. So in this case we use this kind of connectors, and it will be covered by, as you see here, that as a consequence, accordingly, for this, therefore, etc. So this will go for that. Okay, in my example, my districts, you see that Rupanti was ill. For this, she did not go to school yesterday. So Rupanti was ill. This is the first incident, and due to this incident, another happening is taking place here. You see that I have used here for this, she did not go to school yesterday. So this is first happening, and following this happening there is a result, and result is that she did not go to school yesterday. So these sort of things I am just using here for this to add this sentences. Just there is a connectivity between the two sentences, just I am adding here for this. Okay, my dear students. Now I will go for number 5. Addition and listing. So addition and listing. Addition means to give something additionally, to give something more. We are providing, whenever we are going to provide something more, then we are using this kind of connectors, and it will be covered by beside, further, moreover, etc. So these are the connectors under addition and listing. So my listeners, you see, just Bangladesh is a poor country. Bangladesh is a poor country. So this is the first statement. Okay, this is the first statement about Bangladesh. We are giving an information that how is Bangladesh? Bangladesh is a poor country. Okay. Additionally, what are we going to do here? We have just managed a connector. It is beside, and just after keeping beside here, we have just added something. It has a huge population. So it has a huge population. This part is additional information. So this is additional information. This part is additional information, and I am just connecting this part with the help of beside, as it is used for providing addition and listing. Okay, my students, now I am going for number 6. Number 6 you see the specification. Specification, that is whenever we specify something, something is specified, particularized, then these sort of connectors are covered. Actually, specifically, particularly, in particular, etc. This will go this sort of connectors, under this sort of connectors. So we need this kind of connectors to give something in particular in particular way. Okay, in my example, you see, my students, different people have different hobbies. So different people may have different hobbies. Okay, so now we are going to particularize. We are just going to specify. So here is a connector, you see that specifically. So specifically, after using this connector, I have just mentioned here, fishing is great to many of them. Fishing, so fishing as a hobby is specified here, and for this reason I have just picked up here the connector specifically, as we got here in this sentence, in my example. Okay, my dear students, now I will go for exemplification. Exemplification means to give example or exemplify. Whenever we just said something, and we're after saying that thing, we're just giving a real thing or real example to make it more intensive, to make it more important. So it is the total, it is totally just connected with example. Okay, so example, it's a common thing. What are the connectors here under exemplification? Let's see. For example, for instance, to illustrate, etc. This will cover exemplification. We will use this sort of connectors in this situation. So in my example, you see, my students, I have just written here. Now the world is beset. Now the world is beset with many chronic diseases. So the world is now beset with many chronic diseases. For example, okay, I have just mentioned here many chronic diseases, but there is no specific information here. Just there is an indication of chronic diseases, but there is no example here. So I am just going to give an example on the pivot of this statement, many chronic diseases. Okay, what are like that? Okay, for example, coronavirus disease, COVID-19 is one of them. So chronic diseases is here exemplified in this way, coronavirus, in the name of coronavirus and COVID-19. Okay, my students. Now I will draw your attention to here at number 8. Here is, I have mentioned that explanation. Explanation means to explain, to give details something more elaborately. Okay, now what I will use here under this, that is, namely, in other words, that is to say, etc. So I can use this sort of connectors when the situation is about explanation or to give explanation about something. So in my example, you see, for proper development, inclusive education is a must. So for proper development, inclusive education. So here is the main factor is that inclusive education, and inclusive education is more elaborately just given in the next sentence by joining the connector, that is. You see, that is, every people will receive the same quality education in the same environment. So inclusive education will go for where, in a state where every people will receive the same quality of education in the same environment. So this will be the detail of this part. Okay, you see, now where people will receive the same quality education in the same environment. Okay, my dear students, now let me introduce number 9 with you. And actually here I have written emphasis. Emphasis, you understand clearly what is emphasis. Emphasis means to give importance on something, to just put force on something. Actually, whenever something is emphatically presented, then this sort of connectors will go for that. Actually, in fact, indeed, actually, as a matter of fact, these connectors will cover this thing. And in my example, my research, you see that she feels uneasy at his presence. So she feels uneasy at his presence. This is simply stated, but it is intensified in the next part. She hates him. Okay, first she feels uneasy. Then what happens? She hates him. So it is more emphatically is used. So for this reason, just I have managed here the connector. What stands for emphasis? In fact, I have managed here. So this is the proper connector just to elaborate this statement, to present the statement. Okay, my dear students, now I will go for the last one, 10. It is conclusion.
or summation. So conclusion. Conclusion means at the end of something or to conclude something. Just at last. Okay. These are the connectors in conclusion, in summary, in brief, in short, etc. This will be covered by conclusion or summation. So my dear students, if you take a look that what did I do with my example. In my example, I have just stated here that we reached our destination successfully. So we first think that we have completed our mission so perfectly. We reached our destination successfully. This is the first information, and we are just going to close it having this sentence. It was safe journey. It was a safe journey. So just it is the concluding statement. It was a safe journey. For this reason, I have just managed a concluding connectors, and it is in conclusion. So my students, I hope that you have understood very clearly. So this was my day presentation. Actually, I did as much as I have done for you. I don't know how much it will be beneficial to you, how much you will be benefited from my class. But total performance or from every frozen scones, the class would not cover. But I actually delivered the class with my full efforts, and I tried my best. And as I told you earlier that it's a lengthy grammatical item, so it would take time to complete all the things. So for our easy discussion, I have told you that today I will discuss on only connectors, and the left one is conjunction. In my next class, of course, inshallah, I will come with you with the rest part of the topic, that is connectors in conjunctions. So my dear students, all the day it was raining. It's a rainy day, you should protect yourself. You should not move here and there without your umbrella or raincoat. Just I will request you to stay inside, to listen to your parents, and to practice at home. You will be connected with your studies. I will see you again, and I wish you good luck, my dear students. Take care. All the best to you. Thank you.